Hi and welcome back. This is Andre from London Self-Defense Academy. Today we're going to be looking at top 5 Aikido locks. These are different types of locks that can be used in a physical altercation, whether someone is holding you, holding your hand, holding your shoulder, or trying to wrestle with you in a certain way. You will be able to see how these locks can be applied in a real situation. So the first technique we're going to be looking into is called Nikio. That is effectively a wrist lock, which consists of creating 2 right angles, first one in the elbow and another one on the wrist. Now, depending on your attacker's wrist and flexibility, there will be different ways to apply this technique. So if someone has got maybe very big hands, you would have to angle the Nikio in a different ways. There is also an application or understanding that if someone is holding you with the full strength, you may not even be able to move your arm. Therefore, you may have to use atemi to kick them in the shin, in the groin, or just punch them with the other hand, okay, before you do your technique. We usually start from the Jakokata Totori, where you grab it here. This is cross hand attack. And then the first thing is you apply pressure on the fingers, but not too much, because if I slap him, he's just gonna let go, right? So I don't want that. So I just want to be very sneaky and very gentle in here. And now I'm creating first circle right here and then a second circle into him. Yes. So you can see this is creating pain in the wrist. Now what we can do in this situation, we can knee them in the face or just push them back so they fall and we can get away. There are obviously better and worse places you can be using this. If he's punching me in the face and the hand is coming back, I'm not gonna be even able to grab his hand. I will have to just kind of aim for his shoulder while striking him and go right here and then go down. But of course, look, his other hand is in this place and he will punch me in the face if I don't do it right and if I don't do it fast enough. So this is really, you're gonna be choosing when to use this technique, and you're gonna be considering the situation. If he's holding my shoulders in here and we can be both in here, I'm in a good place. One of my hands is inside, I can be covering from the other hand, and this one is here. So I can strike, palm strike here, or kick him in the shin, right? Then I'm going for the back of the hand, drawing him down, okay? Again, followed by knee, or with the way where I'm gonna actually pull him onto the ground. Now, another technique that we're gonna be looking into for the right locks is Sankio. Sankio, again, is a way to create a wrist lock. Now, this was designed so if he's trying to punch, he can't turn because of the pain in his wrist. So now, you can be doing this Sankio in here, but if he can turn his hand, I'm not in the right place. He will punch me back. Right here, we are in a really nice place, and I can manipulate his posture. I can make sure that I say to him, hey, listen man, calm down. We don't want any trouble. Are you calm enough? Now, there is a problem with this technique. Well, it isn't a problem, but there is an understanding. If I apply too much pressure on his wrist, up to the point where he's feeling that he's gonna break, he's gonna do anything to get out of this, okay? Also, if I don't apply enough pressure, he feels safe and he will try to do something again. So there is this middle ground where you create enough pressure and potentially pain that he cannot escape, and he understands that if he does something, it's gonna be hurting him more, okay? So how do we get from here? So now we've got 2 different ways. First one, we just go on top in here, can be following up with the elbow, okay? And the second one, we put our hand on his elbow, like if we're doing Ikkyo, and we're using the same thing to draw him down onto the ground. Sankyo is, of course, practice from this basic way, but we are grabbing the back of the palm in here with 2 of our fingers, trying to put the thumb in here, create a good grip, and going under his arm into this situation here. If he is a little bit trained and he does know about headlocks, guess what's gonna happen when I'm going under his arm? He's just gonna grip me into a headlock and take me out, okay? So there are ways to look at this. If I'm doing this from here, it is the art form. It isn't a realistic attack, okay? We have to be looking into it from potentially, if he's trying to punch, we're reaching for this here, Now I'm getting from top underneath and getting the Sankio from the outside, okay? Because being from the inside, I would have to be going under his arm, and I kind of personally feel that it would be unsafe. But obviously, if you're practicing the form, if you're starting Aikido, it is very good and a very good learning way to be going under the arm whilst they practicing from here. Well, now we're gonna be looking into Hiji shimis. Now, there are different ways you can do this. Obviously, if he's punching, I'm attacking and just going straight under, that will happen. So the Hiji shime really, unless you're reaching completely very much out and he's holding on to you, this might be very tricky to do. So this technique can be really well practiced from here. Now this is a very common situation. He's holding me up. He may try to headbutt me, he may try to punch me, or even elbow me. So this is a legit situation. So we've got our hands up here, saying, hey mate, I don't want any trouble. Okay, now we can apply a bit of a palm strike, and we're reaching out for the back of his elbow, trying to bring it as high up as possible. Now, if I now go very fast upwards, that could damage his shoulder, okay? I've got option to take him down gently, going for his shoulder and taking him out, or following up with the elbow, yes? Now, as silly as this will sound, if you're elbowing someone at such a short distance in a face, you most probably will knock them out. Again, as silly as this sounds, I would watch out that I put them onto the ground in a gentle manner, because if I let go and I just elbow him in the face and he goes down onto the pavement, there could be a sharp corner or something, you would have to be facing that kind of consequences. I know it may be hard to be conscious in that situation enough to make this educated, decision, but just think twice, yeah, before you're elbowing someone. So always try to apply only the force that you really, really need to defend your attacker. Now, another way this could be applied, or maybe a second version of this, again, this is the shoulder manipulation with the elbow. We are here protecting ourselves, strike, and then I'm going from under here, behind his back, keeping that lock in here. Of course, I could take him to the ground, I could slam on top of him, but it will again depend on the situation. So let's see this again, potentially from an attack. So we go whack here and then down here into that. Yes, it should be quite fast. The other technique, last one that we're going to be looking at today, is called Rokkyo. So this is basically an inside arm bar where you putting a lot of pressure on under the elbow and potentially can break it. This could also lead into a breakful where you throw your opponent into a breakful, but it is a very good way to hold someone in here. Now, I can hold his wrist, or if I want to, I can be holding his fingers as well. So this is my sort of more favorite application, because if I'm holding his fingers, I can be open to other attacks from here. I can then switch it to a thumb and follow up with anything that you've seen in the previous videos, the hammer strikes and things like that. But how do we get into this situation, right? Again, he may be punching me, I strike back, and then I need to move myself back in here. Now, without even in here, without a strike, it'd be very difficult to perform, because if he's holding strong, I can't really even, turn my arm properly here. So right here, kick in the groin, elbow right here, there, yes, and either if we have to snap, we have to snap. Now again, use a reasonable force. You don't really have to be snapping people's elbows to defend yourself. This probably would be used in a situation where you've got multiple attackers and you want to make sure that you make a point against the first person that chose to fight with you, take them down in the most brutal way, so the other people will step back and you won't have to fight everyone one by one, or actually terribly in a group. Thank you for watching. I really hope that you learned something from this video. Please let us know in the comments down below if you have any questions, or if you want to discuss any of those techniques. We'll be happy to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.